Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yours.
I'm not crazy, Malin. I'm not crazy, Malin. I've just been in a very bad mood for 40 years. 40 years.
Welcome, folks, back to the Console Gaming League. I'm joined by the one and only Chef Billy today for the EU PC Open tier. How you doing today, Chef?
I'm happy that I'm getting a chance to get some EU PC under my belt. This is where I got like my biggest break when I broke into PC casting was doing the EBC, which was the European Broadcasting Collective, big major over there. Got to know a lot of these people, and you know we've got some great gamers, of course, across the pond. So we'll see how these two teams match up against each other. AFMT selecting Max Value here, and well, we'll see what Max Value has to say about that. AFMT really serious about this. Max Value more of a drinking team.
Yeah, I mean, you know, AFMT coming in the top seed for our EU console tier. Meanwhile, not finding so much success, arguably not because of their skill. I mean, obviously taking first seed in the console tier, but just because, you know, it's a lot to work with, right? Being in two tiers, so had to forfeit a couple games. But, you know, nobody was too happy to pick them. They were the last team to be picked. Max Value got left with them by default. So, you know, this should be a pretty interesting game, especially like you mentioned here in the European scene. Always some fun stuff, notorious for a lot of the brawl, a lot of the really strong Reinhardt gameplay. But let's take a look at the rosters here. AFMT to start with.
I mean, Air Fryer Marina Trench. What a name. We will shorten it to AFMT for the rest of the day. But Akaza, NRG, Dinks in the tank role. CL and Mini here coming in for AFMT. We'll see how they are going to take it to these people from Max Value. because Max Value has somebody very, very recognizable. If you were a follower of Contenders EU, if you watched any of the Saudi E-Leagues, you've got Nat Dukia playing here. And, you know, it's nice and refreshing to see a coach come in and play. I'm gonna be judging Nat here very, very, very thoroughly because well, we've seen some of the smack talk on Twitter. Now we need to see if he can back it up here in the actual game. Next, Sumbri, Ye, and Tissue Baker, the other 4 members of Max Value. I was watching their 60-second intro video, which is actually 16 minutes, and Dutch Overwatch hits absolutely different. If you've never listened to comps in a different language, I suggest this one because you can pick out a lot of English words that have made its way into the Dutch vernacular there, and it's actually kind of hilarious how they call this stuff out. So we'll take a look at how we're going to go ahead and start out and what our path to winning here today is. We'll start out on Control. And we had picked Oasis, however, that is not in our map pool, so we're going back to the teams trying to figure out where we are going. But we'll take a look at that map pool screen here, or we can look at the brackets. Depends on what Rhino wants to give us. Yes, we are actually going to go to Ilios, and well, that's a different set of parameters all around because you've really only got one brawl map that you can play on, that you can really play the heavy brawl, and that's Ruins. And boom, I mean, you know, what I saw yesterday in some of the PC or in some of the console, they're still really heavily favoring not only the Rhine, but also the Wrecking Ball in certain situations.
Yeah. Looking like we are actually starting out on what I believe is Ruins, if I'm not mistaken. So really curious to see what Nat can cook, you know, for these 5 Dutch friends, you know, if they're gonna be having a good time. Maybe some you know, chocolate sprinkles on their toast here. Nope, I am completely mistaken. This is, well, I mean, Greece is a beautiful place regardless, and pretty beautiful compositions I'm seeing here that we've kind of alluded to, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, both of them making me look like a genius here, and I really do thank them for that, even though there is a delay. They probably didn't hear me say that. I mean, we'll see how this actually goes. We'll see if they stick with the Symmetra, or if we'll bring out a Tracer or an Echo behind once you get that teleporter out. We'll see if there's any swaps coming through. Yep, there's a Tracer and a Sombra actually coming from the other side, so lots of potential here for Max Value to absolutely blow up AFMT.
Yeah, newly reworked Sombra, a lot of heavy burst damage possible with that virus. Seems like just a bit of scouting here, although the Sombra herself is scouted out just to start with. Tissue Breaker looking to clear out this high ground, although dangerously close to all these supports contesting them. Gets traded out, so AFMT, the air fryer cooking very nicely so far to begin with, to just clean off a couple of people on point here.
Well, I mean, that's a really unfortunate position there for Ye. Ye is not saying Ye right now, and this Tracer right now is absolutely shredding everybody. Akaza having their way and already has Pulse Bomb in the first extended fight. Good lord, that's a 3K right out the gate.
I mean, Akaza just clearing through everybody. This Tracer seems like it's a little uncontested so far, lurking for the Pulse Bomb, although the Reaper not to be outdone in the shadowy steps of Ilios here. Max Value don't have too much to work with here, so just kind of posturing, trying to move their way onto point.
I want to see what they can get done actually with this Sombra, because the Sombra right now should be able to, you know, get a quick assassination. You can't really go after. Good lord, okay, no. That's a beautiful pulse bomb. You can't go after the tanks as you normally would.
Yeah, I mean, like, Sombra seems like, you know, she's having a hard time trying to find and engage onto anybody. I mean, the synergy from the comps is interesting, right? You've got the Reinhardt who really wants to, you know, brawl it out, but everybody else kind of doing their own thing. And AFMT got such a survivable comp that they're just able to sit pretty on the high ground and let Akaza do all the work.
I mean, it really has done all the work. I mean, you do have mines online here for dinks into this fight. So, I mean, the space control is there. Yeah, going for the assassination.
Virus connects onto NRG, but NRG says no to the Sombra, has the antivirus software installed. Now looking to clean up Tissue Breaker, as well as the mines on point. Is gonna make this pretty rough for Nat. Just has to stand there, a bit of a sitting duck. Dinks finding that final blow, and we say goodbye to the Lucio as well. No exclamation of celebration for them.
I mean, okay. I mean, we're disjointed right now. We're all over the place as far as this max value composition. And yeah, we're going to swap over to the Winston. I think this is actually a better look. Going more divey, being able to have a little bit more escapability. Yeah, that's a nice hack and some other work getting done onto them. Coalescence available to max value. They need to get to the point in a hurry.
Oh, Sombra following extremely low, but manages to escape with the skin of their teeth with the EMP tissue breaker, though. Not so lucky as we see the Pulse Bomb connect onto Nex, the Soundberry and Bob there for AFMT right as well. And their pockets in this Ilios well are as deep as the Marina Trench.
See what you did there. I'm here for it. I mean, max value looking like they're having a little bit of a fun time here on a Sunday afternoon here in the States and in North America. It is closing in on 9 o'clock there, 10 o'clock actually in Central Europe. So, I mean, maybe they're tired. Maybe they've had a long day of scrims, but that did not seem to go too well for max value. Need to see what kind of a composition they're going to come out with here. Genji is going to be the choice.
It's interesting. Oh, we might see a Junker Queen as well, looking for some really high power spike composition to really just absolutely clear somebody on AFMT. They seemingly almost read it out and have the Baptiste and Brig there to respond. So see how the teams want to posture as we start off on Lighthouse here. Dinks and Nat kind of duking it out on the point. Sombra looking for some value, trying to find somebody to hack, but everybody's just so mobile and escapable. But there goes Ye.
I mean, you get seen when you throw the translocator out, and it's not redeployable like it used to be. I mean, there are some serious learning curve issues here for this new Sombra. And right now, it's almost a bit of a throw if you're going to play her and you don't know how to manage her kit. So, yeah, we're going to need to see a little bit more out of max value here. We want to see what kind of work they can get done on the side. That's a nice manual hack, but gets out of it.
Very nice recall from Kaza, just barely able to escape the manual hack here. So we see Nat hiding in cage, shouting onto the point, it looks like, trying to clear the Baptiste onto high ground. Playing in the more favorable spaces of the point, these kind of closer ranges where the Junker Queen and Genji can find a lot. It's going to be Nex getting that carry of Akaza out first. So max value looking to flip the point here. Tissue Baker picks up a couple of dash resets as well. So finally a clean fight for max value, which has otherwise gone all the way of AFMT.
Well, what I really like here is that you're starting to see the Sombra get some work done. And, you know, the manual hacks starting to come through. They're starting to deny some of the resources here along the outside. What they need to be very careful of, though, is this Pulse Bomb. Akaza has been absolutely lethal with them.
Yeah, I mean, AFMT obviously have a healthy bank of ultimates to work with here, so we'll see how they approach it. Some really early shout out from Nat. They have to respond with the blade to try and make something happen, but the immortality field is there to keep everybody healthy. The window as well just allows everybody on AFMT to burst down max value, despite the fact that the sound barrier came out from Ye. I think that was a pretty rough fight in terms of the ultimate economy there.
I mean, you put out 3 from AFMT. You put out 2 on the other side. So we're swapped over to the Wrecking Ball. So it's going to be a Hammond v. Hammond. Beautiful little bit of a work coming in here. The EMP, you know, I think that you use it 1v1. You just single somebody out and make sure that you confirm the kill onto them. I mean, the virus, if you can connect with it, it does 100 damage over over 2 seconds. That's a beautiful shot.
Alternatively, you could just connect with NRG, the Coalescence, tracking the ash out of the sky. Next, looking just to find a little more, is being chased down by the ball from Dinks, though, and Dinks and Akaza, this tag team of 2, despite being independent in their dives, are able just to clean everybody up.
Well, I mean, pretty emphatic takeover there from AFMT. I mean, you know, max value does get a little bit more into the gate. We swapped over to the Winston now, so third tank here on Lighthouse for Nat Dukia, and we'll see what Nex and company can get done. Nex has really been the best DPS so far on this max value team. We need to see a lot more coming from their DPS line.
Oh, I mean, we see something coming from the DPS line of AFMT. The pulse bomb thrown out doesn't quite find. It actually does pick up Nat. The sound barrier there is just insurance policy, Billy. That's a pretty strong showing of a 2-0 there on Lighthouse.
Oh boy, oh boy. This could be a very, very short afternoon for you and I, Boom, because that was a pretty emphatic Akaza absolutely having their way with the entirety of Max Value. This is here once again on Lighthouse. Just look at the tracking, look at the finishing power. You know, even though you don't get it, I mean, how does it get that? How does it get the wins right around the corner? Not sure, but you know what? You'll take it every time. So for this Max Value team. Maybe control isn't their map type. Maybe they're not completely warmed up. Maybe they're too tired. I don't know what it is. It just seemed like AFMT had all the answers to everything they wanted to do.
You know, maybe it was the Tracer skin buff from Akaza. The comic book skin, you know, the little sound effect when you hit those melees really makes it easy just to sweep Max Value and deny them any value of their own. But in all seriousness, you know, looking at how Max Value have played so far, what do you want to see them pull out for our next map of Hybrid? You know, where do you want Max Value to take us in order to actually, you know, maximize their composition?
Well, I think that if they really wanted to try and press the brawl, we saw Reinhardt come out first twice. I think they would go to King's Row and force more of a brawl. And really deny what kind of pressure that Dinks can get done. Because while Akaza was murdering everybody, Dinks was providing so much disruption to the rest of Max Value. I think that's where a lot of the issues were coming from. You'd see the pile drivers come in, you'd see Akaza clean up on the back of it. So if you can deny a lot of that, I think that they'll have a much better time of it, and we'll see, you know, how they kind of respond to Dinks and Akaza being able to play in concert with each other and take it to the next level, because they're looking pretty rough right now. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, like we had you know, talked about how Nat, you know, has this experience in the contenders, in the Saudi E-Leagues, you know, some very high-tier tournaments. So kind of expecting him to be the spearhead potentially for this Max Value team. You know, obviously, even if they're playing kind of casually as friends, you know, obviously they want to put up a strong showing. So we'll see if they can bring anything out. Seems like we will have substitutions as well. Though Bendo is in for Seal on the side of AFMT in the support line. AFMT's got quite the large roster of 10 people, if I'm not mistaken. So hard to tell what exactly that indicates, both being flex support players. So,
I mean, Vobendo is a long-time CGL veteran, having played in the console side for many, many seasons. I've casted quite a few of their games, so nice to see them playing up here in the PC. We've seen a lot of this happening where, you know, you hit the ceiling in console, and so you go to the next frontier, and that's PC. And you see what kind of your soft skills in Overwatch transfer. And we can we'll be able to have a real-time debate about how good Vobendo has gotten, having moved over to the PC side. Obviously, they're playing in the open tier, so we will be going to Numbani for our next map, and I could not be happier because I've been fed a diet of Lijiang Tower and King's Row as the first two maps.
Don't forget Saravasa.
And then Saravasa for the third map. I mean, that has been like a stagnant menu, desperately in need of a refreshing. Well, we are getting refreshments right now in Numbani. I did get a chance to start at Antarctic Peninsula last night as well. So there's some change-ups happening, and I like the random pick here. It's not the expected pick. And, you know, this would give a chance for Nat on the Winston if he decides to play that. You know, your Winston plays very well on Numbani, you know, the ability to flit from high to low and really pressure those choke points. So I think that's what they're kind of leaning into, unless they don't. And then we'll see why they took us to Numbani once we get into the map.
I mean, you know, I don't think it'd be out of this world if we saw some creative strategies, you know, maybe throw in a Symmetra, a Reinhardt, get some things going on. But on the other hand, you know, I think Max Value have indicated, like, previously that, you know, they like playing some of these dive heroes, Nat putting Monkey as their favorite. as well. So, Nimbani definitely happy to give you that kind of composition.
We'll see. We'll see if they actually lean all the way into it. I would, like I said, I would not be upset at all if we saw
See some Sigma.
that. Please no.
Little tired of it.
Well, I love Sigma. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I love Sigma. I mean, calling it and calling all heroes. I mean, that was some damn good Sigma play there. But I want variety in my my Overwatch games. I know that there's a meta. I get that. But the meta really is so fluid. You can play anything, and it is going to be not coming out on that Reinhardt. So they are going to force the brawl here, and they're going to go high with it, and I think that's better. Also, we've got some. Well, no, I take that back. We just got their positions swapped around here. Now that Next is playing in the support role, and they're actually in the support slot for us, so it feels a little better. Dinks is going to show us that Sigma. You got some nice prognostication skills here, so they're looking to provide a little bit of extra pressure. They're looking to contain, and they're looking to just get in on top of this brawl composition.
So we'll see how exactly they want to take this fight, where they're going to rotate. Really looking to get Maywall value, which could be extremely good here when max value is holding on this high ground. You see Akaza already has taken over the backside high ground, lurking around this mini, trying to find Nex, who's already used the Fate. So this is really the chance for Akaza to capitalize, and that's precisely what happens as the rest of AFMT shows up. Nat following low. Ye does manage to get a boop onto NRG, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough as we see Tissue Breaker. Their weaves of fiber completely broken as Akaza just finds another. The tracking very nice from this Tracer, and that's going to be extremely quick first point capture here for AFMT.
I mean, we're going to have, like, what, 5.5 minutes to get through the Streets phase? It'll be, what, 5:36? Yeah, so 5.5 minutes to get through the Streets phase. I mean, we've seen some token resistance. I'm not sure why we're playing Moira right now, but apparently they're very intent upon playing it.
I mean, we'll see if it's just a first fight fluke, but NRG looking to find a pick onto, okay, Tissue Breaker as well. Yeah, I don't know. This is a little difficult if you're max value here. I mean, they tried to just walk up to AFMT as their brawl composition would, indicate, deny the range of the Sigma, but then, that happened.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that NRG goes right back over to the Ashe shows that they want to have that splash damage of the TNT, and you also want to have the repositioning ability in case there is a random charge in from Nat. They'll just be able to get themselves back into position and out of the way.
Yeah, AFMT not pressing too hard, just chilling on the point, although Kaza will look for a Pulse Bomb. Connects onto Ye, because unfortunately no immortality field for the side of max values. So just more cleanup. I think AFMT really are functioning as the wet wipe that Nat translates to here, so...
okay.
It's true! Nat's name translates to wet wipe. It seems like maybe it's not that clean, as we'll see next pop the Coalescence, try and keep max value alive. And finally, we see a potential fight flip for max value. They use the beat as well, might not quite be there to help completely sustain through the gravitic flux. The AFMT uses a beat of their own, so looking to finally capture this second point, although quite frankly, I feel like that was the first time we've seen a fight go back and forth in this entire series.
Oh, yeah.
Every other fight was just one-sided, either for mostly AFMT or a couple for max value.
Yeah, I mean, just watching Akaza just be the mosquito that everybody hates. I mean, they have just completely devalued any kind of compositional work that's coming out from max value right now. I mean, you're looking at Bob to be able to hold the point, just start assassinating people. You got him up high as well. So, I mean, the cause is going to be up there really being able to focus it down, take care of the work, and just be the heavy lifter that everybody needs.
Someone has to do something about this Tracer. Usually you have the Lucio to mark, but Akaza's just too slippery. And if it's not Akaza doing the work, it's NRG from the distance, finding these shots, has the Bob out there as well. You see a fight onto the high ground as Mini does get Goomba stomped, but with the EMP out for max value, There's potential to turn this around. Unfortunately, the nerf DMP not as strong as NRG. Decloaks the Sombra with the coach gun. You hate to see it, and AFMT almost pushing to the end of C with 4 minutes. Max Value have to get a good Death Blossom here.
I mean, it'll just take one rock. I mean, as long as you hold your kinetic breaths, it's not really going to get through, is it? So, I mean, yeah, this is dangerous.
The rock does come out, and they get a very nice hack onto Sigma, potentially opening up the avenue for a Death Blossom, but NRG says no and finds 2 headshots instead. Akaza looking for a Pulse Bomb as we finally see Tissue Breaker pop the, Death Blossom in the back. Doesn't quite catch much other than the Baptiste, but the Gravitic Flux here from Dinks is here to help secure the point. A very nice stick onto Ye. Akaza once again showing why they're so proficient on this Tracer, and the Sombra unable to touch. That's a 3-minute 16 Nimbani for AFMT.
One of the fastest I've ever seen. And wow, that's all I gotta say is wow. I mean, they're having their way with Max Value right now, and I'm not sure what Max Value can honestly do. I think it starts from the support department playing the Moira. It almost feels like you're not taking this seriously, if I'm being quite honest. I think that the Baptiste is a better option. I think that the Kiriko is a better option. You still have mobility. You still have a fight-winning ultimate. You can still put out damage. So, I mean, if that's what your thought process is, I mean, at least give yourself a little bit more mobility or a little bit more viability here in your support department. I don't hate the Lucio. I think Lucio needs to be in the game right now, regardless of who or what your composition is. So, I mean, for AFMT, they've kind of flopped it up a little bit. They're expecting the Reinhardt again. They're going for pure damage coming out the gate, and Vobendo really has transferred those skills over from what I remember them playing in the CGL during the console days. They've absolutely really upped their level here. I mean, that immortality barrier that came out on C really did save the life of their team, and they followed up on the back of it with a beautiful amp matrix and just cleaned up the fight.
Max Value finally shown a slightly different look with the Junker Queen. I think this really explains the Moira pick, because I was looking at what Next had wrote, and they said they're playing support for the first time today. So there you go. AFMT, meanwhile, they've got the Junkrat and Bastion, a lot of spam damage, but that damage won't quite save Mini from getting picked off first. So Max Value already finding a first tick onto point, quickly progressing to a second. The Bastion not quite able to burn down the Junker Queen because the Genji is there to provide the deflect, clears out the Bastion as well. Looking for a couple more cleanup kills, but this should be Max Value making their own very fast cap here on Nimbani A.
Oh, hello? Tissue Maker? I like it. I like it. Yeah, I mean, getting the work done. I mean, that is a lightning fast take there as well. So, I mean, we'll see how the streets go. But, I mean, Dinks right now, the fact that they don't have potential to mitigate damage, that's actually going to play into Max Value's favor. So I don't know if we stick with the Wrecking Ball. But, I mean, Sigma, I think was a great look from Dinks. I think that I think even Orisa might be a great option here, because I like the Orisa versus Junker Queen duel.
Yeah, Orisa, of course, able to shut down the Junker Queen. Dinks, meanwhile, not finding themselves with the spin or the spear, able to do that much. Just has to kind of scoop and poop. Does manage to finally go on to Ye with the help of the team. Finally coming in to join that dive. A little more cleanup here, and AFMT finally able to stop Max Value, despite Max Value initially capping with more time than AFMT.
Yep, and I mean, I'll tell you what. You know, the fact that this is Nex's first time playing on support, I give them a pass now. I mean, yeah, this has got to be incredibly difficult to play in a role that you've never played before. I mean, this has got to be stressful beyond all belief.
It's also stressful looking into the 4 ultimates of AFMT. You're really looking at the Coalescence and Genji Blade to try and potentially pick something up. Tissue Baker, though, no blade required. Finds Vivendo, the main source of healing, down. NRG falling as well, so unless they can get some trades out, I mean, NRG still has the Bob on the field, finally flying back to Omnic Heaven. And Max Value they lose their main source of healing as well, but are still looking to push this card. I think it's just the Tracer and the ball here so far.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Pulse Bomb goes out. It does pick up. Yay! How do you get that in there? I don't know. This Tracer is so damn accurate.
I mean, that's rough if you're max value. You know, maybe you had to give up a bit of space, back up a bit.
Yes, I mean, I like that we've got mobility all around here for max value. I think that's really creating a lot of havoc here for AFMT. The mines, though, mines could be the kicker here as we're approaching the 3-minute mark through the streets phase. They might let him out now.
Dinks picks up the Sojourn immediately, looking for a little more. Has the Tracer there as well as the Genji next. Not long for this world. The Junker Queen falls as well. So once again, like, all of these fights from AFMT, they are so incredibly quick, Billy. As soon as they find one pick, everybody else just falls like dominoes.
I think they just all just turn and find the aggression. And you know, they're just like piranhas in water, going for the blood.
That was a nice boop to initially deny the engage from Dinks, and you know, max value is rewarded with it. They have to use both a sound barrier and overclock, but picking up quite a bit of AFMT. Akaza, though, looking to potentially turn this around with a pulse bomb, throws it out anyways, but with NRG down, max value should be able to clean up this point here. Vendo's also switched on to the Kiriko, and wait, I'm sorry, AFMT commit the beat? I don't know about that one, Billy.
Oh no, me either. I mean, that's zero value. Now, for max value, I mean, they could potentially. Well, no, they can't. It's a little bit too much real estate, but they're going to actually be close, especially if they land a big rampage right around this second corner. I mean, that rampage, they have nothing to defend against it. They lost their, they lost the sound barrier. They don't have a Baptiste. The only thing they can do is Suzu. But if it doesn't hit everybody, those are free kills.
Seems like it was a pretty free kill for Dinks as well, potentially coming in with the mines if needed. Looks like they won't use it as they've already found the first pick onto the Sojourn. Nat trying to clear out this Tracer, who's just been a constant pest. It's a mosquito loaded with a lethal malaria of pulse pistols. And AFMT, just off the back of that first kill, once again, just able to shut down max value.
You just saw I give up. That was a surrender right there. Next, knew they were out of options. Then the white flag was up there.
Next.
Yep, and Dean's just obliged them. Oh my god, are you kidding me?
The mines on top around, such a cheeky play. Nat has nowhere to run, so the Coalescence unable to keep them up and sustained, and you know, Akaza potentially looking for a little more, falls a little low, and a very uncharacteristic punish onto Akaza here. The aggression finally not rewarded, although NRG is of course there to save AFMT with another pick.
I mean, it's a dual-headed dragon, isn't it? I mean, if you get one, the other one's out there ready to go for you. So Bob does come out, and well, they get boot back a little bit.
I mean, NRG throws the Bob out, finds another pick, and that's just another one after another. You know, there's a reason why it's NRG. This is certainly not RNG, right? These Ash headshots are landing for a reason, Billy.
God. Okay, I wish I had like a quarter of the same. I just don't understand. It's my age. I know it's my age. I get that. But seriously, like, this is some serious work coming out from NRG. And Akaza has been put onto the supporting role here in support of NRG rather than what we saw in Ilios.
Yeah, I mean, look at the amount of damage they're able to put. Nice boot from Ye, denying Dinks. Oh, Kaza, are you gonna do it again? Another pulse. Trying to find the Lucio, who does boop. Okay, no Ajax quite there. NRG finally shut down, so max value. They have a lot of ultimates, but their time bank is dwindling. AFMT potentially looking to use a Kitsune rush here. The hack finally comes onto the ball. The Kitsune rush from Babendo is there to mirror. The EMP comes out, and Dink's finally gone. The rodent no longer roaming the sewers of the African sub-Sahara. So max value looking to push, but they really need to cap with time here, Billy, and I don't know if they can do it.
Oh, I mean, they've got a blade. They've got a blade and a rampage, so I mean, they've got some serious weapons here to get this over the line. They do have a sound barrier that they are contending against, though.
And Tissue Baker looking for the blade. The beat does come out in response to both the rampage and the blade, and none of the ults get any value. It's just completely shut down by the sound barrier for Mini. A 2-for-1 deal.
Well, Nat's going to be here for as long as they can stand around. Going to get pushed into a mine, and that's going to do it here. I mean, last second touch gets...
Yeah.
Yay gets yeeted into the Shadow Realm as they try to get the speed touch at the very end. Oh my god, I wish I could have any game to see how far poor Ye flew, but I mean, once again, AFMT just a lot more in the larder as far as fight wins and really compositional understanding of how they want to play this map. So just so damn good coming out from them, and Max Value now facing match point. Do they have anything left in the tank here, or are we going to see a lower bracket run?
It's hard to say. I mean, reverse sweeps happen all the time. I think that's kind of the beauty of Overwatch. You see it in the Overwatch League. The ever so dominant Atlanta Reign goes out 0-2 in the playoffs. But, you know, AFMT, they look like they've kind of downloaded max value all the times when, you know, they're trying to rotate just to the high ground or to the little tunnel. They manage to catch them out, so they dwindle so much time off of them that by the time they finally push to C, they get a 2-for-1 coupon on the sound barrier versus the rampage and blade. However, of course, max value could bring it back on our third map of Flashpoint. We'll be right back after a short break.
my downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
Welcome back, folks, to the Console Gaming League. I'm here with Chef Billy, the one and only, of course, in the EU PC Open playoffs. We've got Max Value, who has so far more or less been swallowed into the entire depths of the Mariana Trench here from AFMT. I mean, we've got a map pick of for Flashpoint here, our next little mode for match point in our first to three, but it's something that Max Value really has to show us some incredible look on if they want to progress here.
Well, I mean, we've seen the Genji come out from them. We've seen the Junker Queen, and Junker Queen and Genji do work very well in New Junk City. So we will get right on into it here. I mean, they're up against the wall here. And maybe they just decided that they're just going to take an L and take their chances in the lower bracket. I mean, Max Value, they've got some sparks of brilliance. We've seen them win fights. We've seen them be able to make some really decent team fight wins. But for the most part, AFMT has really set the pace and set the terms of the engagement. So when we go in here, we will see how we go together. And point A, of course, will always start on Arena, and then we'll get the RNG after that, the Ducks, Refinery, Junkyard, and Bomb Flats, respectively, for the next 3 or next 4 maps after that. So, I mean, this is do or die here for this max value team. We'll see how they actually come out on top of this.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a struggle, and I think it's almost a story of how incredible some of these consoles teams can be. AFMT, you know, being the #1 seed in the EU consoles show, like showing us that, you know, PC teams, no threat to them. We're coming up with some interesting compositions here to start Arena off with. We have Dinks on the Ramatra, max value, meanwhile opting for the dive. Ramatra's just running down. Oh, got the big old arms, looking to swing them. Not quite a Reinhardt, but Sumra is the only person who's going to be able to escape the onslaught of AFMT here as they get the first capture point onto Arena.
That's just dirty. And I mean, Vobendo getting the work done too on the Baptiste. So, I mean, you've got maximum sustain. You've got the immortality barrier. Kaz is going to be able to really deal with some work on the outside. And now you've got NRG on this May, which is going to wall off people from the rest of their team. I mean, the walls are going to be really where I see the biggest area for them to win these fights.
Yeah, I mean, finally, a very nice virus from the Sombra here helps clean off the Kaza.
Wow.
And, you know, extremely good execution here from Max Value. It was a clean dive that they set up by taking the angles, and plain and simple, the execution and the timing was on point, and they're rewarded with it.
I mean, Blade's going to come up into this fight. You're doing it actually quite a bit better here. Oh no, we've got a Kaza going over to the Edgelord himself. And now we've got our NRG over to the Torbjorn. So I mean, that's the radar, if it were, letting them know where the Sombra is. Yeah, that virus is actually starting to get a lot of work done.
I mean, this is a triple shotgun here for Nat, who is not going to have a great time as we see them fall down to Akaza. Just melt it down. It seems like beats will actually come out from both sides here, as well as the blade from Tissue Breaker. Lots of slashes in, but no confirms, unfortunately. Doesn't quite have enough damage to chunk through all the sustain and the high health pool targets of AFMT. I mean, between the Torbjorn and the Reaper, these are not squishy heroes. And, you know, that's awesome to throw it in as well. I guess we're really chasing here. Kaza wants this Moira. Next says, you know, this might be my first day on support, but come on, you can't walk me all the way to spawn.
I mean, they tried to. They tried to, and now you've got this EMP and that's coming out.
There goes the EMP. I mean, the coalescence there as well. So max value, actually, you know, despite all we said about them before the map started, you know, interesting compositions seeing so far here on Flashpoint, but they take our first one of Arena as we're headed into what looks like, yeah, okay, so we are headed into Junkyard here, and max value will be able to get the first setup.
I mean, you've got Molten Core coming online. I mean, but they expended pretty heavily. AFMT to trying to maintain the point, and now you've got the Scout coming in. You know exactly where this AFMT team is coming in, and they've got Primal Rage ready to go.
Yeah, the Molten Core, the only ultimate available for AFMT, does come out. Akaza has found next, so the main source of healing for AFMT is gone. Nat does trade out the Baptiste, but it's otherwise all AFMT, all red in the kill feed here.
I mean, they really did deny the value of that Primal, other than poor Vobendo going down. They really did kite away from the Angry Monkey, and now, you know, you're looking at a sound barrier from Jayat here on the Lucio, and I mean, it's going to be, you know, can you get that up in time before Tissue Baker gets their Death Blossom up? It's almost there already.
I mean, they've got the sound barrier, so, you know, it's just going to be Dinks here chunking down Nat on the Junker Queen, trading one, you know, Oceanic shotgun for another. Doesn't quite time the axe perfectly to deny the Translocator, but NRG just has so much energy to hit these headshots time and time after again, no matter the hero. The Cheetos just clicking people's domes off.
I love it. I'm absolutely enamored with this AFMT team. We'll see what Max Value can do here. They did take the first flashpoint, and now they've got this. Yeah, they've got this Death Blossom ready to go.
Yeah. Oh, but NRG already finds out the Sombra, so not a lot of follow-up. The sound barrier from Yate doesn't connect onto Tissue Baker, so this is going to be a difficult Death Blossom if they can get it out. Not at all, so it's going to be a Kaza using their own. And, we go 1-to-1 here on Flashpoint, heading to our next point, between the Ducks Refinery and Bomb Flats. AFMT are pretty healthy in the ultimates, as, it seems like, if
Bomb
I'm
Flats.
not mistaken, I think that's the Ducks.
Is this the Ducks? We'll see.
I think this is the Ducks. I
think you're right, it's the Ducks.
Little fans at the top. I'm also a fan of Tissue Breaker having this Death Blossom already TP'd in, but the boot there from Giant just completely shuts it down. AFMT just deny the engage and just take the point for more or less free. Only the window used.
Yeah, I mean, you love these economic fights, don't you? And I mean, you take that every single time. And now you're going to be having the Molten Core, so that's going to really section off space, being able, really denying Nat Dukier to be able to get in there with this Reinhardt. Shatter is online Coalescence as well, so you can actually kind of walk through it and really, kind of bypass it. Oh no!
Potentially looking for the Shatter, but instead it's going to be the Lucio beamed down by the Coalescence. I mean, the tracking certainly transferring over from the other heroes here for next. AFMT kind of hanging around, looking to maybe trade things out, and that's exactly what they do. Nat does find Akaza though, so it's going to be the Reinhardt and Lucio squaring off against this Junker Queen, and the Shadow comes out from Nat, cleans off the Junker Queen, finds the kill, but instead AFMT are finally able to respond. The Lucio has the sound barrier. We're gonna see the EMP come out from Max Value, and the commitment pays off in spades. The dividends coming out. It might have been expensive. They don't have much in their savings, but I think, ultimately that is all you can ask for.
I mean, they also get the sound barrier out. So, I mean, that's a great win here for Max Value. Now they're going to have a sound barrier of their own going up against this Molten Core and Rampage.
Yeah, it's last fight here on the Ducks. I mean, Dinks looking for something, but instead it's going to be Tissue Baker with the picks up the entire team, save for Dinks. Nat stealing the 5K, but you get a turret as a consolation prize. Just a supreme heads-up play here from Tissue Breaker, knowing where AFMT are going to come in, perfectly positioning them because they have to touch, and you just go first. That's the beauty of Defender's Advantage, Billy, as we head into Refinery.
And that's the beauty of them really sticking around and committing into that previous fight with the EMP. It pulls out the sound barrier. That would have been the only thing that could have saved them. And now it's gone. Now it's a Rampage. So it's going to be a free Rampage as they go in.
I mean, it connects onto two, but Gay has the sound barrier to respond with. This Molten Core making this room a little spicy. Some lava all around, although it seems like we could get a back and forth. Anybody's game to win so far, finally falling into the favor of AFMT, but still some straggler potentially, or I think it's just a little spy checking here from Dinks.
Yep, I mean, they know that the Slumber was somewhere around there. They just couldn't quite scout him out. So, I mean, Vobendo can stop the approach here with a well-placed window. You're looking for Nat now back onto the Winston here, looking to be able to close the space and really start tickling down this Well, they're trying to get into the back line. Dinks might have something to say about that.
I think Dinks will try and perform the bodyguard function, although as we see the jump onto Vavenda, nobody's here to peel for the dive. The Immortality field is finally coming out, but it's not too much. Finally, Akaza, though, showing what they've shown in the previous matches, picks everybody off from max value, despite the Baptiste falling.
That was dirty. That was dirty. I mean, there's no other way to put it. That was absolutely filthy of a team fight coming out from AFMT. I mean, and the fact that there was no peel and they still win it in a deficit shows how they're actually playing so well together and trusting in each other. That's something else that I love, when you have a team that is playing across multiple disciplines.
Yeah, and I mean, no touch whatsoever for max value. Tissue Baker tried to make it, but instead it's really just going to be staggers as we see Crazy into the wound here of Ye. Now, finally, we're at match flashpoint here. Fobendo, though, finds next. That could be extremely big. I mean, max value, they just have to give it up, but they still want to go here over to Bomb Flats. I don't know if Next can make it in time.
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy coming from them, and they're actually getting the value out of it. Oh, no.
Nat is trying to get out, but might be too little too late. The Coalescence has to be used from Next just to keep Nat alive. They're gonna look to push with it, but the first point capture will go to AFMT, who have 4 ultimates of their own, the Molten Core and the Sound Barrier EMP all coming out. People are hacked, and Tissue Breaker has this Death Blossom, has to make something happen. Unable to find an opportunity to use it because AFMT have just too much control of the point here, Billy.
I mean, did you see the EMP cancel the rest of the Molten Core, though? I mean, absolutely perfect for them. But the pursuit is too good for Mikaza once again, coming in there in clutch that they have done all series long. This Tracer is absolutely picture perfect from them. And yes, I agree with you. It is a comic book hero skin buff, especially with the Kazam or the Kapow sound when you go in there with the melee.
Now, Nat showing us a Reinhardt, which hasn't been seen that much so far here on Flashpoint for these teams. Oh, the Sombra caught out by Akaza. Just beautiful scouting. They're going to have a Sound Barrier committed in response to the beat from Ye, or vice versa. But it doesn't matter. That's just a clean bomb flats for AFMT. And that's the map. That's New Junk City.
That's the match as well. That's a 3-0 win here to AFMT. And I mean, Max Value definitely showed some resilience here in Australia. Definitely made it closer than I was expecting, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. The Torgorn in the molten lava, making snow angels. Love it. Lava angels, I guess it would be. So good from this team. They're gonna go far. I cannot wait to see how they progress through this tournament. But for Max Value and Nat's team, I mean, hopefully they have their full roster next time, in the lower brackets, so they'll have a better opportunity, because I mean, there were signs of brilliance and we saw it definitely there in Australia. So for them, I mean, hopefully their full roster can be around next time. But AFMT really putting their foot down, really keeping a stranglehold on poor Max Value all afternoon long.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at Max Value's logo, it seems to be remnants of the Philadelphia Fusion, and I feel like that was what happened today. We saw just remnants of Max Value being sloshed around by AFMT. I mean, look at these maps. I mean, full hold on Nambani, a clean 2-0 on Ilios. Obviously, we just saw very, very good signs of life from